we're going to make a bone. How exciting is that? Superbly exciting. I have to give credit where credit's due. It was my mother who created this template and figured out how to make it. We don't have actually this with the company that is creating the Torseken model. So my mother very kindly figured out how to do this for us. So credit given where credit is due. So my hands are all nice and clean. I've got my template, and here what I'm going to do is take out my white. This is the finished section, but I broke it down for you to be individual sections, which may be more helpful. If you just want to do it as the whole thing together, that's fine. But I think you might find it easier doing it in separately and then building it up on that. Okay? So here we go. So I'm going to put some white and I'm going to build it to this length. Now, remember what we did with the renal capsule. We did pinchy, 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 pinchy. Guess what we're going to do again? Pinchy, 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 pinchy. And I want to keep pinching it. I want to make sure that it is the length and then bulbous on the end. So I want to make this. And the thickness of it is not as important as getting the shape right. So I'm just pinchy, pinchy, pinching. How are we doing for the shape? Okay. So this is a long bone. Now long bones don't actually have to be long. It's based upon their shape, which is kind of an interesting fact, because you can have long bones in all sorts of places, including your hands and your, look at this is where all your long bones are, examples of, in your fingies, your toes, your femurs. This is kind of what we're going to be making today, is a long bone. Like this one. This one is the humerus. Okay, back to this. Here we go. Long bones are built for strength, right? There are two main bone types in your bone bodies. They're the compact bones, which I'm working on right now. Is this middle section is made up of compact bone. And then on the very ends, we have the spongy bone, also known as the cancellous or trabecular bone, and it surrounds the compact bone. How are we doing? Oh, I'm stretching it too far now. But that's the nice thing about this clay is you can fix it. Look at that. I'm making my bone today. Here we go. I'm just pushing and moving the clay around to make my bone structure. What do we think? Are we happy with that? No, look, there's a section over here that's missing. Let's fix that. Am I in the lines? Thereabouts. Okay, we'll see how well that works. Now, there's that white. Am I done with white? No, I need white right there. So I'm going to get all my white bits done first so that I don't mess up my clay too much. You can see how it's already going a bit mottled. That's okay. We can manage. All right, these bones are constantly being remodeled by tiny cells called osteoclasts, which break down old bone tissue, and the osteoblasts build new bones. But you already knew that because you're very smart. The smallest bone in your body are the stapes, the incus, and the malleus, and they're located in your middle ear. Each one is about the size of a grain of rice. These tiny bones play an enormous role in transmitting sound vibrations. So you can hear. Thanks to them, that's how you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can. Do. All right. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah. I think that's about all right, because that's going to go over the top of this one. Like this. Okay, well, we'll do that in a second. Okay, let's get our bits sorted first, and then we will put it together. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so now I'm going to take some yellow. And you'll notice that this is yellow. This is like a flattened yellow. This is going to be the bone marrow. I don't know why I've got Indiana Jones now in my head. There we are. Gonna have some bone marrow. This is the yellow bone marrow that is found in the middle of the medullary cavity. And I need a tube. I'm gonna make it a thicker tube. Ugh. Here we go. All right, here we go. The big bones, the femur or thigh bone, is the longest and strongest bone in your human body. It can port several times your body weight. When babies are born, they're born with about 300 bones, but as they grow, some bones fuse together. By adulthood, the average person has about 206 bones. And more than half of these bones are in your hands and feet. That's 54 bones in each hand and wrist, and 26 bones in each foot. There is only one bone that is on its own, poor little bone. It's located at the base of the tongue, and it's called the hyoid bone. And it's not connected to any other bone. All right, there we go. It's a little more bulbous. That'll do. All right, I need green. These are going to be squishy bits at the end to cover the ends of my bone. So, how's that? Make it a bit squishy. Pinchy, 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 pinchy. All right, that'll do. And then we'll see how this fits. We might have to alter it again as we go. And then we're going to do another pinchy, pinchy, pinchy bit for this end here. All right, what are we thinking? I think that should be okay. It's a little bit longer, but we'll cut it off. Okay. Then we need some brown. Now, if you've run out of brown, but your brown is still in here, you could take apart your model, because you're done with building this model now, and you could reuse parts of your brown. So if you still got brown left over, don't worry about doing that just yet. You may want to keep it so that your brown is staying in your model so that you can have a look at it later. But if you need to, don't worry, you can take it apart. Nobody's going to be sad about that. It'll be all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a thin bit here that's going to lay on the top in the middle of this. Again, pinchy, 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 pinchy. Pinchy, 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 pinchy. How are we doing? Pinchy bit more over here. Squidgy pinch, squidge and pinch, squidge and pinch, squidge and pinch. Do you like the technical terms here? Now, you could use the roller. If this is something you're like, you know what, we haven't used the roller yet, I want to use the roller. Feel free. I won't judge. But I like my pinchy, pinchy, pinchy method. Why? Because I get to say pinchy, 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 pinchy. That You think that'll do? Yeah, will do. All right, what else do we need? We need a brown bit here. That's going to be more concave. This one's a little bit flat, but again, it's going to be a concave structure like that because it's going to go over the top of that. And now we need our red and blue very thin noodles. Oh, look, I still got some red thin noodles from a previous build because I was clever and I kept it. Oh, look, these will do, won't they? Yeah, and this one will do for in there. Oh, look at that, isn't that nice? That lovely. Oh, yeah, all right. So we got some of that. Now, do we have any blue? Do I have a blue noodle left? Oh, nope, but I can make one. There we go, almost there. Oh, I nearly mixed the two. That wouldn't have been good. Come on, Pearman. Can you tell I have too much fun with this? Okay, so here we go. This is what we're gonna make. Now this one here, because this is what we're gonna make. This is what my mummy made, because she's very clever. What we're going to do is we're going to build this up, okay? So what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of this in here and layering it up. I'm going to put this in here like this on top like this, put this on top like this. This is going to wrap around like this and make it all curved up. Oh, look at that, we're doing well. Okay, I'm going to put this in here, put this in here, and now I'm going to put these on over the edge like this. Oh, stay where you're put, mister. Okay, and then I'm going to put this on the end like this. Notice I'm not sticking anything down, and that's okay. Oh, you know what I'm gonna need? I'm gonna need some more little bits of red. Okay, I'm making all of this and then I'm gonna explain it in 1 second. So, we're layering it up, we're putting it all together. Okay, and we're gonna add these extra pieces in. Tiny little balls to help remind me of what's going on. And I'm not sticking it down, notice. I'm just layering it. Boop. Boop. There we go. Are we happy with that? I think so. All right, so let me explain what we've got here. Let me explain what we've made here. This here is my bone. And what we've got on the very ends is this cartilage. Remember that the cartilage is there to help reduce friction, to allow for the movement of these bones against one another without getting stuck. So your hands might be sticky from the clay. Try and, you can feel how it needs something gliding between them. So if you've got a piece of saran wrap, you can slide between them, right? It's going to allow for smoothness, which is what the cartilage is going to do. Now, the bone itself is going to be fed by these nutrient veins and nutrient arteries. These are going to provide the nutrients to the bone itself. Wrapped around the bone, so if you wanted to add in a little saran wrap over it, you could, because wrapped around is going to be the periosteum. The periosteum, which is right here on this image, the periosteum means, peri means around or surrounding, while osteo stands for bone. So it's clear from the name that the periosteum is a fibrous membrane that covers the outer surface of the long bone, and the two ends covered in cartilage are the only part of the bone that are not covered by the periosteum. Pretty awesome. Okay, so the ends of the bones, we can see they're bulbous, right? These are going to be the epiphyses. These are the two extremities of the bones. The ends which lie closest to the center of the body is termed proximal epiphysis or the proximal end. In contrast, the one lying away from the center of the bone is referred to as the distal, so that's going to be this end. This is the proximal, this is distal, the distal epiphysis. Now, the important thing is that the epiphyses are composed of spongy bone, which is why we got it here with the little holes, and these have got red bone marrow. The marrow contains blood stem cells that produce red and white blood cells and platelets. The extreme ends of the epiphyses, where they articulate with one another bone, is covered with articular cartilage, that's this green stuff, and the cartilage protects the surfaces from friction and absorbs mechanical shock at the joints. Oh, crazy, right? Okay, so then there's a region called the metaphysis. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add a line in right here. Sound effects, or I must. I hope you did them too. Okay, this area here, This area here is the epiphyseal line. And that epiphyseal line is important because that is basically also known as the growth plate. So the growth plates are a magic zone in children's bones that allow them to grow taller and wider. This is... Unlike the rest of the main body of the bone, the growth plates aren't made of solid bone. Instead, they're constructed from special cartilage, a flexible rubbery tissue. The cartilage is packed with cells that have a super cool job, that is to grow and constantly divide. Now, cells in the growth plate rapidly multiply, creating new cartilage tissue. This pushes the bone ends further apart, making the bone longer. The cartilage is then added to the plate, and the older cartilage, closer to the bone shaft, undergoes transformation. These special cells break down the cartilage and replace it with actual bone tissue, and this strengthens the bone and adds to its overall length. Pretty awesome. Now, the closure of these growth plates typically happens around puberty as hormone shifts, and they gradually stop producing new cartilage cells. Eventually, the entire growth plate is replaced by solid bone, and the bone ceases to grow. This typically happens in late teens, with girls stopping a little earlier. In average, girls' growth plates close between 13 and 15, and boys' growth plates close between 15 and 17 years of age. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's talk about this compact bone just a little bit more. So again, this is the compact bone that does down the shaft, which is I hope you remember, the diaphysis, right? The diaphysis is the central tubular shaft, connects the two ends of the bone. Its walls are composed of a dense and hard compact bone, forming an internal hollow region called the medullary cavity. This cavity contains yellow bone marrow. That's this here. This yellow bone marrow helps in fat storage and is internally lined by a delicate membrane called the endosteum. Endo meaning inside, and osteo being the prefix for bone. The endosteum helps the bone grow, remodel, and repair or heal from fractures. So that's pretty awesome. So if we look here, you can see the endosteum is a membrane that wraps around this cavity. Notice also that there is a large blood supply inside the marrow, and that allows for whatever's being created in the marrow or stored in the marrow to be put in or taken out. So the actual structure of the bone is pretty awesome. Let's see, what other big pieces of information did I want to tell you? Ribs. Did you realize that most people have 12 ribs, but some people are born with 13? This is a harmless variation. Bones store minerals like calcium and phosphorus, which are essential for keeping bones healthy and strong. Your bones actually recycle and replace each other. Are you ready? 10% of your bones are replaced every year, which means that over time, your entire skeleton is rebuilt every 10 years, every decade. Whoa. Although bones are strong, the teeth are actually even stronger. And again, teeth are part of the skeletal system. The tooth enamel is the hardest substance in the body. Bones are constantly under stress from everyday activities like walking and running, and this is actually really good. The stress actually helps to keep the bones strong. Astronauts can actually lose up to 1% of their bone mass per month in space due to the lack of gravity. So that's kind of crazy. So when they come back from space, their bones are actually weaker, which is really quite problematic if you're wanting to get off your spaceship and then all of a sudden you can't. And so that becomes very problematic. So yes, this is our bone. Hopefully you can see the importance of it all. You can see what we've got here. The outside, the inside. This is like cutting, and you can see what's going on inside. A hollow shaft filled with yellow bone marrow, red bone marrow at the end, and the cartilage at the ends of the epiphysis. And it's voila, it's beautiful. Okay, here is your job. Your job is to create this. You're going to then, excuse me, I would quite like you to put this on either a blank piece of paper, or you can put it on this one. And okay, so now you have it here. Now, before you take your picture, I want you to label it. So as you label it, you must make sure that you use, can you guess, a ruler. You need to make sure that your lines are straight. So if like worst case scenario, you could use the edge of something, but grab a ruler. Because look, even worst case scenarios, they still wobble. You want to use a ruler, and I'd like you to do labeling lines. Boop. They can have arrows on the end if you want, or not. And you are going to label what each part is, and then you're going to put your name with this. Dr. Pearman. And now, once you've labeled it, ta-da, you're going to send me a picture of it, and it's going to be beautiful, and I'm very excited. Yay! Good job, people. And of course, when you're finished, you're going to put like with like, put it into your saran wrap and back into your baggie, and then clean up, making sure that your area is nice and clean and ready for the next one.